Alright, this is episode 7 of the Phantom Forces tier list. I have run through the list yet again and made changes. And the more I use a certain gun, the more I can be confident in its position. If I don't use a gun much, then you can expect it being low on the list, or it might even go high on the list from what little experience I have with it. So I'm going to make a note when I get the chance to start running some of the older guns that haven't been moved in a while. Like I'm going to try running the Intervention and the MK11 to see if they still remain SS tier. As I have not run both guns recently, and I'll do the same with however many guns I get the chance with. We see two new additions to SS this time, and it sucks because I'm pretty sure both these guns were in SS before. The MG36 coming up to SS from S. Now, why did I bring this gun back? The original argument I gave to put it out of SS was because its recoil was very random. It was hard to control, and it wasn't it made the gun manageable. As like if you went up against someone with MG36, you didn't instantly lose the fight. And now if you're on folding grip compensator, well, you pretty much win. Like you can win. I would say 8 out of 10 1v1s you will go up against, depending on what they have. If they just have a standard assault rifle, you should probably win that fight most of the time, depending on if you're at full health or not. The SSR coming out of S. I'm pretty sure this gun was SS when it was released. The reason for this, it has a high base damage, a high accuracy, and then recently I've learned at close range, it actually has a very high fire rate for what it can do. I had a couple of fights where people got a little too close, and then I just started racking shots off, and it's like, oh wow, this gun is actually very usable up close. And it doesn't sound amazing. Actually, the last game I played with this gun, I had more, like I was getting a bunch of 96-point assists. While I did have a bunch of kills, I think at the end I had about 40 to 50 kills that game. But I was getting a whole lot of assists too. The reason this gun is SS is a stupidly high base damage combined with its fire rate and accuracy. 2 headshots at range, that's a kill. 1 headshot up close, that's a kill. I can't remember the exact stats off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it does more than 50 base damage. If it does 50 plus, then it will one-shot at close range. At its max damage, it will one-shot someone 100 to 0. And we come down to S, which S has gotten a lot smaller this time, which I'm glad to see. The Scar H coming out of SS. The only reason for this, the MG36 beats it out in close to medium range or close range. The SSR beats it out medium to long range. So essentially, the Scar H cannot stand up to either of these guns at their respective ranges. Of course, are you going to say, well, the P90 can't stand up to the MK11 at long range, but the P90 is not a long-range gun. The Scar H is supposed to be a battle rifle, where it's supposed to be able to be used at pretty much any range, kinda effectively. But it's gone down to S. That's where I feel it's comfortable. I'll run it some more to see if it deserves SS or if it deserves to go even further down. A+, which has been getting big over the recent lists, which I am super happy about. I'd rather see a bunch of guns in A+ than anywhere else if they cannot be in A. We see the AS Val coming out of B+. It had sat in B+ under for a long time. I think since the list began, it never got above A. The only reason for this is because its only use was a stealth assassin gun. I still haven't made my Phantom Forces roles video yet, so I should try and do that soon, where I will explain what stealth, assassin, and other roles mean. But the AS Val is really good at killing one person, which is fine. That makes it have a unique job. It's really good at killing one person, and at best I have killed 4 people in one mag. Just earlier, I killed 3 people in one mag. But since I have learned to use the folding grip, and if I learn how to use the stubby grip effectively, maybe we'll see more guns becoming better or worse. But the AS Val is going to sit in A+ for now. I imagine it's going to drop down. I'm going to run it some more. I just had a really good experience with it. I'm going to run it again, see how well it performs. But it performs so much nicer. It still has that hipfire capability, but you have that really accurate ADS now. The Scar L coming out of S. The only reason for this is I haven't used it in a while, and from what I remember, it doesn't perform nearly as well as like the Scar H or the H bar. Sorry about that, I have a little cold. I need to write it down, run it later today, and see how it performs. Same with the AN94. I actually have used it within the past week, I would say. And it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it used to. I ran it in burst, I ran it in auto. It just doesn't feel like it used to. It must have been changed. Maybe the burst mechanic getting changed up might have hurt it. I have no idea. It just doesn't feel like it used to. We see one new addition to A tier, and that's the AK-12 finally coming out of B+. I have no idea why I had left it in B+ for so long. I'm an idiot. I should have put it in A as soon as I learned about the folding grip. But I kept it in B+ for whatever reason, and it did not deserve that tier. It was definitely an A tier. It cannot hold at long range, but close to medium range, it can hold its own. It's not terrible. It doesn't have super high accuracy, but it still can hold its own for the most part. And now to B+. This is where we start seeing the sad guns. The L22 coming out of A+, or A, sorry, to B+. Now, why did I make this change? Comparing it to the other carbines, the G36C, the M4, even the PDW, and the SR3, all 4 of those guns have accuracy on their side. Sure, the L22 is really good at mowing 1 or 2 people down, but it has a lot of bounce. By that, I mean when you aim with the gun, it's going to jump around. Even running a compensator or muzzle brake, it's just going to have way too much bounce. And you're going to have to pick one. You're either going to have to run the compensator and help with that side-to-side recoil, or you're going to have to go with a muzzle brake to help with the up and down recoil. You're basically screwed using this gun. The lack of that underbarrel attachment, which you only have the option for the laser, it's really hurting the L22 now. Like, before when I ran it ran just fine. I had no problem with it. Now that I'm trying to take a serious look at it, instead of just using it to play around with, I'm starting to see how bad it is compared to all the other guns. B having no changes, but we do see a gun in C tier now, and that's the Tech 9. I have used the Tech 9 recently. I am actually running it right now on, I think, 2 of my classes. And it sucks. It's super good when you're almost point blank against someone. They won't even know what hit them. But if you're far enough away that you have to aim at them, that fire rate combined with how its recoil works makes it and a pain in the ass to aim with. I was on King of the Hill on Construction Mall, which is the second worst map in the game, but we'll talk about that in a different video. Someone was on the stairs while I was on the ground floor where the hill was. I aimed at the stairs, pulled the trigger, and tried to follow them. My cursor went to the left, or to the right, up, and then right over their head. Like I just had wrote a backwards C essentially, and missed all but my first 3 shots on them. Like that. It makes the gun very difficult to control if you're tracking someone. If someone's laying still or someone had just popped out while you're holding it, you can quickly just aim, hold the trigger, and just let it go. And then that person will probably be dead. But when we start talking about probably high-level players playing against each other, that might not work. And even then, you're giving up the M9 secondary for a Tech 9. And while in Counter-Strike it may be completely broken, you can't say the same for Phantom Forces. The gun is just terrible right now, and the biggest thing that hurts it is its fire rate. I actually thought, when I first saw it, I thought this gun's going to be overpowered. Like, it's going to, like, when I make my list, it's going to go right up to SS, and it's going to stay there for probably the whole game. Like, for the whole lifetime of the game. And I'm surprised to see it in C tier now. And if it doesn't improve, or even gets nerfed, we'll probably see it go down to D. But first C tier gun in a while, and hopefully it'll get buffed a little, changed a little, so it's no longer there. Otherwise, thanks for watching episode 7. I'll make sure to make the roll video soon, and maybe even make a video talking about the maps. So that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.